welcome back to another edition of the SU Coaches Corner. I'm your host, Joshua Klein. I have the pleasure of being joined by head men's varsity football coach, Tom Perkowich. Thank you for joining me, Coach.
Thanks, Josh.
So can you tell us a little bit about how the season's been going? You started out with a big win over Lycoming in the season opener, but then had that heartbreaking loss to nationally ranked Johns Hopkins the following week.
Yeah, it's been an interesting start to our year. I thought our kids came back in great shape for preseason. I thought we had a really good preseason to prepare us for game one. Well, we kind of squeaked one out in the first week, but in the end result is what we want. We got a W. We got the Stag Hat back as a trophy game. I know that rivalry is very important to our alumni. Probably the biggest rival game we have of the year for all of our alums. And then I thought our kids came out ready to prepare and get better as we entered last week to play a nationally ranked team and a team that hasn't lost a game at home in our conference since 2010. And I thought they came out and we played very, very hard. And they showed up. I thought our kids responded time after time to adversity in both games, and kind of answered the bell defensively in the first game when we weren't putting points on the board, and then Saturday offensively just continuing to come back. There's still a lot of things we need to work on. We're not clicking 100% right now, but I think we're pretty close. I think we showed people that we're a pretty good football team, and we're going to be a force going forward, and we're happy with the progress we've made. 2 years ago against Hopkins, we walked off the field with a 52-point loss, and 2 years later we were in a position to beat them in the end of the day. So we've come a long way. A lot of hard work's gone into it from our players, our coaches, everyone around us, support from our alumni and fans, and we're happy with the start, but not satisfied, I wouldn't say, because it's all about winning. Winning games is important, and right now we're 1-1, and we got to get back on the path on Saturday.
Absolutely. And so the season, as you mentioned, started with a pair of real thrillers. What aspects has surprised you the most with your team this year?
I think the competition level on our team. I think through recruiting and finding the right people, our team has come back ready to compete. We have a lot of competition at every position in practice, which each day makes you a better football team. And I've been really surprised with that. I've been really surprised with just our guys' level of focus and commitment. Guys don't miss anything. They're really focused on being really good and winning, and just not overly surprised, but it's been a pleasant time to coach our football team, just because they love what they're doing. They love football, and they want to be really good.
You mentioned the first week with how your defense really stepped up to the plate, and it's a lot different than it's been from the seasons prior. What's been the big difference, though, in your eyes with your defense? Well,
we do have a new defensive coordinator, and we have changed scheme a little bit, to a little different style. And I think our experience on defense. We are still a young defense. We have a lot of young players. Whether it's sophomores, juniors, only a couple seniors that start. We have some that see time, but they really have grabbed onto what we're doing, the new stuff that we're doing, and they're playing really fast right now. As you get experience, you can play faster, and their pursuit of the football is the best maybe I've ever seen defensively. And there's still some of those growing pains you have as a young group, but they'll get better. But we're definitely playing a better defense right now, and statistics show that, and the scores show it, especially week one where they absolutely dominated the whole game. And that's what you need to play great defense to win championships. Even though I'm the offensive coordinator and I run the offense, I'm a firm believer, and I love great defense. If you want to be a really good football program, you got to play great defense, and we're really taking those steps to make sure that happens.
And you have 3 team captains this year, veterans, in Nick Caruso, Ryan Gennard, and Tommy Belush. How important has their leadership been in guiding this team in the right direction?
Well, it's all about leadership. If you want to be good, your best players need to be your hardest workers, and your best players need to be your leaders. And we have that right now. If anyone watched our game Saturday, Nick Caruso played very, very well, inspired our team to play better. Tommy's played great, and so has Ryan. And if you have leadership like that, you have a shot to beat anybody. And those guys have done a great job of holding guys accountable and leading by example and making sure our guys understand what our goals are and how to set their sights and what we want to get done.
And there have been a lot of new faces on the roster this year, as you mentioned in a couple of questions prior. Can you talk about a little bit of the newcomers that have come about and making an immediate impact for the team?
Certainly. Offensively, there's less on the offensive side, I would say. I would say our right tackle, Cole Spencer, who's a freshman, has started the first 2 games, has done a really nice job there. Terrell Brown has seen some time in the slot for us and a returner offensively. But for the most part, I think Tyler Musgrave's another guy that's seen a little bit of time for us. But we're pretty veteran on offense. We've got either guys that are sophomores seeing their first time, but they've been around the program. They've been with us. Defensively, we've had a couple guys. We've had Craig Rumis, who didn't play last year, even though he was on campus. Seeing a lot of time at our outside linebacker spot. And then we've moved some guys around and things like that. But we've had Paul Jones, who's seen some time in our secondary, who's done a really nice job. And then we have Alston Amigbenyo in defensive line as a freshman has come on to be a solid backup for us right now. So we don't have a ton of freshmen starting and playing as we've had maybe a year ago, which is a good sign for us. The biggest time where we have freshmen is our special teams. We have freshman kicker Connor Lustenberger and then and Rory D'Alessandro are the 2 guys there. Rory's been hurt, but he's a quality kicker there. And so that's the quick kicking and punting and those things have been a little more of the younger guys. But we do have some guys in the backup group that are younger, but very pleased. We've been able to recruit really well, I think, and find some guys that are going to be able to help and prop up our seniors in their goals of their last season, but also to give us a chance for a really bright future. And we're really happy with that. And those guys are buying in and understanding what it means to be a Susquehanna football player and what the expectations are.
And so if you had to kind of describe your team in a phrase or two, what would be the mantra of your team? What's something that you try to get your players to buy into?
Well, our motto's all in. It's been our motto since I came here my first day 2.5 years ago. And, I think they're bought into that mantra. They're bought into that culture of commitment and drive and working your butt off and being blue collar and being a tough, hard-nosed football team, being physical, working, knowing that hard work pays off. And you got to be committed to if you want to be good. If you want to be a great football team, you got to have guys that are committed to that. They got to be all in. They got to be all in their academics. They got to be all in off the field, on the field, everywhere they are. They've got to know that what they're doing is the betterment of the program and for each other. So I think that's what I would say. I think our guys we've gotten to a point where we have everyone on the same page, and we're competing really well.
And we wish you the best of luck and the rest of the season going forward, and we're sure that you guys will have great success. And I'd like to thank head coach Tom Perkowich for joining me here on the SU Coaches Corner. I'm your host, Joshua Klein. He is head football coach Tom Perkowich, and we hope to catch you next time.
Thanks, Josh.